Yay! Oh my God! Are we live broadcasting somewhere?
Yes.
Mentor 2007.
Oh,
There you go.
2007? Wow.
Wow.
3. I win.
2003. Oh, Michelle.
2003.
They allowed kids at SAPPHIRE in 2003.
This was Tech Ed. I did not go to SAPPHIRE.
Oh,
this was
okay.
This was Tech Ed 2000, Michelle.
Well, I'm trying to find my older ones. I've got. I'm looking through them all. See,
There's Mr. Elliott. Hello.
this one. And,
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Can I have
Hey, Timo.
your...
Hey, just thought I'd say hi. I can't stay. I have to go on a staff call. Boo.
Oh,
But just so many familiar faces. I wanted to say a quick hi.
great.
And, do interesting things, and maybe even record it, and then I can listen to it later.
Absolutely.
I'm going to play with the green screen because the stuff you showed was absolutely amazing. So,
yes.
I'm going to be playing around with green screens and
I
presentations.
now know how to do it like 8 different ways, and I can tell you the pros and cons of which.
What is it? Adobe? Not the video editor. Any good for it?
Sorry, what?
I can't remember the Adobe editor, the video editor. It looked very good for it.
Okay. I'm not sure you're talking about. Sorry. But anyway,
All
great
right.
to see you. Best of luck.
Great to see you.
This is in 2012. We had SAPPHIRE and Tech Ed in Madrid at the same time.
wow.
I remember that well. That was the first year I became a mentor.
So was I, yeah. This was my first visit here as well.
And that was the last year they had SAPPHIRE in Europe. So it was.
Yeah.
So we can blame. We can both share some of the blame on that.
Okay, guys, I don't want to interrupt that chit chat. I know it's very interesting and it's good that it's floating. But nevertheless, I would like to do an official hello and introduction. And a little bit of housekeeping, as always, especially as we are also enthusiastic about the topic and about SAP Community. So, hi everyone, welcome to this community call. My name is Katarina Nonhebel and I'm part of the SAP Community, managing the Influencers Program of the community, so the mentors and the SAP Champions. And I'm super happy to have you all here in this call. A little housekeeping is, I think you're all familiar with Zoom. If you hover down or sometimes in your mobile, it's also up. You can mute yourself next to your name and you can use the chat also. This session here is really an open meeting, as usually when we are in Orlando, we meet and greet at Tutu Tango Cafe, at all these evening events. On the show floor, we meet and we have these discussions about, hey, did you hear about the keynote? Or what was the best that you heard? What was your best session, your key takeaway? This year, unfortunately, we were not able to do that and we are not able to meet, but meet the people in the community. But with this session, I really would like to give you the possibility to engage with each other, with other community members, with the champions, with the mentors. And I have 3 wonderful people beside all these other people here in the call. We have now 31 wonderful people here, but 3 I want to highlight today. So Chris Kernaghan, you all know him as Boo Boo. You know him, he loves to share his knowledge with others, and for years he was hosting the Mentor Mondays, so you should know him. And then Tammy Powlas, who is also an SAP mentor like Chris Kernaghan, and she's also a customer like Sue. I'm talking about Sue later, and Tammy, you were for years ASUG volunteer, and you have been involved in so many SAPPHIREs already. You're a pro for over 14 years going to SAPPHIREs, as you told me before. And yeah, your tips and tricks that you always post around SAPPHIRE, also around TechEd, are always helpful. And the third person is Sue Keohan, who's also a mentor, but now she is one of our wonderful SAP champions. Already since over 20 years volunteering for ASUG, I heard. That's a long time. And at SAPPHIRE, usually you know her from social charity activities around SAPPHIRE. So for example, Doctors Without Borders, she was doing a lot. And Sue, I think you have a great fan base, and I don't want to miss to give you the stage here also tonight. So these are the three people that are helping here. I'm going and lay back a little bit because I think this is your session. You can exchange your thoughts about the event and chit chat, talk about SAPPHIRE. Around 6:30 we are going to close the official part, and at 6:30 we open, whoever wants to stay, the open bar. So if you want to stay with me and take a seat next to me at the bar and have a drink or a coffee, whatever you prefer, that would be absolutely fine. Okay, so wow, SAPPHIRE, it's a wrap. Usually we are tired, super tired, and we have swollen feet after SAPPHIRE. We have a bag full of goodies and a mind full of a head full of new impressions and new friends. Yeah, but I would like to hear from you. What is your key takeaway? What was your greatest session or hearing? Tammy, maybe you just start off and then hand over to the people in the community. Tammy.
Sure. I think, well, a lot of good sessions. You know, in terms of the keynotes, I liked Luca Music, the CFO. I thought he did a good job. It was short and to the point, you know, about how SAP uses everything and how his SAP Finance was 100% remote during the pandemic, but really enjoyed the session with Irfan Khan. And he interviewed a gentleman from NBC Universal, and I think I tweeted my favorite quote is, when you move, you clean out the closet. So sort of like, you know, when we move to S/4HANA, we need to clean out our ERP system. So I really enjoyed those sessions quite a bit. Archiving. Data archiving, yes, archive before you move. So I don't know if anybody else wants to go off mute and share what they thought their favorite session was.
Well, I can just say that I tweeted that I was going to steal that line as well, Tammy.
Honestly, I'm still catching up.
Yeah,
one of the nice things about this year, in spite of everything, is that we can consume all the content on demand. So we don't have to try to cram a month's worth of education and knowledge into 3 days. We can consume things as we have the time and the bandwidth to do it. So I'm still catching up on things, but the fact that you can watch everything on YouTube is awesome.
I agree.
Yeah, some of the stuff that I liked was actually more around not necessarily the technology bit, but also, you know, the community aspects, or, you know, the thought leadership. There were some great sessions around diversity on the website, which were actually really good. So I watched those, and then I can then step back and watch my technical sessions as well, which has been brilliant, because normally when I'm at SAPPHIRE, I'm either at, you have to make a choice. It's either this session or that session or that meeting. As you say, we can consume all these things together. So, and quite often, it's the non-technical sessions, or, the ones that aren't strictly aligned to what I'm doing, but don't make the cut, and those are often the ones that I want to see. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I think one of the things that I've missed though is the ability to ask questions from the presenters or the keynotes. So that the ability to there's no show floor, as it were, and so the ability to go and ask questions has been a challenge. So it has, because I usually have questions, you may have noticed over the years.
I actually just watched a few sessions, and
Yeah.
they had a focus to, I guess, not too many surprises here on sustainability. And I obviously liked the announcement with Climate 21.
Yeah.
And that SAP plans to be CO2 neutral by the end of 2025.
Yeah.
So stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And I noticed today that there's actually a new topics page called Climate 21 in Community.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
I'll have to have a look.
Yeah, they have an interesting simulator that you can play with. You can make decisions on what you want to do with your company. And then at the end, there's also a link to that page.
Nice. Nice.
Do you have a link on this?
Oh, yes.
Thanks.
There it is.
Oh,
there.
thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Fabulous.
So Michelle, what did you like about the exec Q&A?
I just kind of liked the whole thing. I liked my favorite part about it, and the reason why I picked it over the other sessions was that it was actually live.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
that's good.
that was big. And then they also took questions from us. And actually one of my questions was wrapped into it. So the answer was kind of shaky, but it encompassed what I asked.
Nice.
What I asked was about all of the extra companies they seem to be acquiring, and the answer was, well, we want to be able to make it easier for integration and agility and to flow through faster, while also giving people the option to go with the other companies in that area. So they answered, but it was kind of, yeah, we want both. But I liked it because they attempted.
Yeah. Is there anything that we thought was missing, from the Q&As and things like that? We've talked about sustainability, we've talked about the pandemic and things like that, and these are all very important topics, but was there anything that we were expecting that we didn't see? I don't know.
If I may, Chris, there was a lot I was missing. To be honest, it was for me the worst SAPPHIRE I've ever been, or been, of course not, but there was nearly no announcement what was really significant except the Climate 21, which was great, no doubt. So that's a very good announcement, but in terms of the business development, the technologies, the product portfolio, I missed really the clear strategic direction. So there was this virtual, let's say, portfolio demonstration was quite well organized, and I think it was very well explained, especially in the business technology presentation. But overall, it was not the SAPPHIRE of announcements like usual. It was not highlights and single points you usually can grab and work around. And of course, I completely miss the option to discuss the interactive parts and the in-person discussions and events. So what I like is that we are able to see the recordings of sessions, which you usually miss because they are in parallel. So that's something you could add to a live event, not the other way around.
Yeah.
That's my
So Oliver, did you see the 38 pages of announcements? Because there was like a 38-page deck. Oh yeah, Chris has it. I think I do too. I do too.
No, but Oliver raises a very interesting point, because I'll give you one example. So
I didn't even see it, so obviously it was not communicated so that I can see it. But that's maybe my point.
Peter.
Yes, I agree with you, Oliver. There was no big announcement, but for me, it has some kind of positive touch, because for me, it's a sign of consolidation. And if you look at all the things to do, integration tasks and the other things, where is there a place for a new product to purchase? Yeah, we have purchased so many products in the last years. Now it's time to consolidate, and I like that this team stands for consolidation, who's listening to the customer base. And so for me, this is somehow positive. Don't you think so too? You must unmute.
No, sorry. In terms of the new missing no new product, I completely agree. I'm very happy about the direction of integrating all the acquired product and building a consistent base. That's clearly agreed. But for example, in terms of development of further partner models, of more relevant and competitive outpricing to the customer base and things like that, I still miss. There was nothing new, at least I haven't seen it.
But maybe this is also because Michael has left and Alaire, she has taken over.
Yeah, well, so out of all the sessions that I've seen and all the stuff I've read, I've come across, I've got three big questions and takeaways. The Microsoft, the reference and guided journeys on through the Embrace program, okay, that SAP and Microsoft pulled together, not just technical architectures, but also business application architectures, is something that is absolutely amazing and brilliant. But I didn't see an awful lot about it in the sessions and things like that. There isn't a massive, there wasn't a big announcement. That would be something that would be, very big for me. Okay. Another one is also the general availabilities of the managed Kubernetes runtime for people to actually deploy applications. Okay, that's a big one. But I don't know how to monetize it, because the invitation is there for people to deploy on the platform. But the only reason why you would deploy on the platform as a partner is to monetize it. But I didn't have the ability to go and ask somebody, okay, that's great, but as a partner, how do I monetize what I put on the platform? That's not clear. So
I think that one of the reasons why Embrace was not on the on the event so significantly was there's an internal fight about the program and all the disadvantages. And if you deep jump inside, one big disadvantage for SAP partners is that most of the business runs through Microsoft paper. So I was very deep in this discussion, and Embrace has, besides some very interesting upsides, also many downsides, especially for the monetization of partners.
Yeah.
Oliver, this is an excellent point that we run into in a lot of other partners that I work with, that I think needs to get addressed and discussed up front. I'm not sure why it's keep getting hidden from both SAP and Microsoft in the partner ecosystem.
I asked it in the Q&A to Jürgen's session in the community last week, but I got no answer.
Then we make sure to follow up on that.
Absolutely. Anybody else got anything that they really enjoyed throughout the week?
Karin asked, we posted a link to the announcements there. So there were some new products launched. There were no sessions around it, like the SAP Analytics Cloud add-in for Microsoft Office.
Yes.
So I did an SAP online track session on that the other weekend, and that's on YouTube.
Was that was the online track? Yeah.
SAP online track, yes.
Yeah.
So that's all on YouTube. So I think, and I missed it, but I know that Jürgen was live on the Periscope for the first 30 minutes of a session yesterday. Yeah. So I think I thought that was a good move.
Yeah.
For him, because I think people said they were missing the interactivity.
Yeah. One of the things that when I was doing the research or going through the sessions on the analytics, I still can't believe that Hannah is 10.
And I see Ina there. I tried to change my background to one of those Hannah is 10 Zooms, but I failed. You just see the background of my cube. So
I know. Well, it's funny actually. I remember having a friendly disagreement with Jeff Ward of all people. Funnily enough, at SAPPHIRE in our tech head at SAPPHIRE in Madrid with Peter, we were doing a walk around, and it was debatable which one was going to be the more important to the ecosystem, Cloud or HANA. Obviously, HANA won initially, but it was we were doing a walk around, and Jeff was taking us around, and we had a friendly debate, as you know, Jeff. Around which would actually change the ecosystem more, HANA or Cloud. And I remember that well, but I can't believe that was 10 years ago. That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
I don't know if it was an Irfan Khan session. He said there's like almost 40,000 HANA customers, and I thought I saw 32,400 HANA customers. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, that's nice.
32,400, that's what Ina says, she confirms.
Yeah.
Cool. So
yeah.
Can we hear maybe then also some more people here from the community?
Henrik, how did you find it?
Let me make sure I get off mute. Yeah,
you do have that issue.
Well, I mean, I was just reflecting over it on that Monday, like what an incredibly complex task to try to pull something together, and then something goes wrong with audio and connectivity and stuff. And I mean, still during this time to be able to try to pull together content and make it interactive and valuable. It's enormous task. I know some other companies have done pretty good, and some have had challenges as well. But I think the most important thing is that as companies, and we push forward and try to make things happen. So that one of my biggest takeaways is good for SAP that they're trying to make things work in the best way possible during this tough time. I thought that some of the keynotes in the beginning were pretty good. It was interesting on the carbon, the commitment around decarbonizing Climate 21. Our CEO, our new CEO, and the company I work for made a big deal of that at our company launch in February, and I was a little bit surprised, but I really felt like there was a relevant topic, and then to see SAP to talk about that and going above and beyond and saying we're solving problems in technology and business, but we're also trying to create a better world. So that I think that was pretty interesting. I thought it was a little bit odd when Adair brought the S4 client up. I mentioned it on Twitter. I mean, great story and great client, but how in the world is a client, on the keynote presenting on a project that started summer 2018 and went live 2019 on a version 1709 that's 2 years old in summer of 2020. I mean, can you imagine if Salesforce did that on their keynote, like presenting stuff that's 2 years old? So I'm sure there's other clients that have gone live in the last 6 months that probably would speak or not. So I'm not really sure why you would pick a client to talk about stuff that's that old. So maybe that was a miss, but I think that they could have done a better job there around telling the story and the customers around S4. I watched a couple other sessions during the week, but I'm still have a list of sessions that I want to watch to get up to speed on a couple of things and probably have more feedback during that time.
Cool.
Yeah, and talking about more feedback and talking about the feedback, I want to spoil here a little bit what Sue's idea about hallway conversations, because this is something that you really missed, Sue, right? The conversations, walking on the bridge from the mentor's room to the convention center and all that, right?
Well, so I mean, we're all missing people. We're all missing everybody, but the thing is we don't get to have those elevator or hallway conversations or the dining room conversations where you sit down at a table of strangers and figure out what you've got in common. And I did not finish my blog on the subject, but I am going to be posting one in Coffee Corner. And I want to invite people to start their own hallway conversations with the community. Just say, hey, do you want to get together Thursday at 9 p.m. for half an hour of in S4HANA or blah, blah, blah. And it would just be a way for us to connect with other people in the community. And it doesn't even have to be, it's like Jerry's movie clubs and book clubs, which are good, which are very scary. So it's just another way for the community members to drive some more connectivity between each other.
Cool.
What does anyone think that they would start up a hallway conversation for anybody in the community?
Yeah, why not?
And Marina also raised her hand. So, Peter, Karen, cool. And you can use whatever tool you would like to use, like the Zoom or Teams or whatever, and then just post the topic in as comment, right, Sue, under your post, and date and time. So it's like dating about a specific topic in the SAP community. Cool. That's a cool idea. And I mean, beside missing people, what else are we missing? I have this.
Leo.
I'll volunteer to do a hallway conversation about data volume management, cleaning the closets.
Yay!
You need to archive your closet. Yeah. Leo, you were going to say something. Go for it, Leo.
Hi, everyone. I just want to add on
some of the fun things that we did, like when we did the SAP Community Challenge to raise money for Doctors Without Borders. And Clint Vosloo filmed himself in the hotel gym doing like burpees.
Yeah, I remember that.
Donated to it. You would challenge people to, go out and walk 5 miles during SAPPHIRE. And if they did it, you'd have to donate $20 to Doctors Without Borders. So I miss that kind of interaction and with a good purpose.
Yeah.
Using our community to do good things.
Very much. Leo.
Tammy is showing some type of different blue screen of death. There.
Ooh. Ooh.
Did you see? Your screen was all blue, Tammy.
The virtual background was coming in. The virtual background was coming in just as Ina left. The HANA 10 was coming in. I think I had to fix it.
So Leonardo wanted to say something.
Yeah, just one thing on what Sue was saying, this hallway conversations. I noticed in this event, since some of the sessions were live, some were recorded, but the value of the back channel chat when you have something live going on and that interaction level is so valuable. I hope that is going to be leveraged a lot at TechEd. If the contents are going to be more live or not, but in the same topic of these chat rooms that could exist to isolate conversations on specific topics and covering sessions that are going on, I think that is something that's super valuable.
Very much.
I just want to add one thing because you guys asked for feedback. One thing I unfortunately missed, and maybe my fault because you went somewhere and I didn't see, but S4HANA Cloud on the essentials and the extended, very important positioning. SAP actually positioned a lot stronger this message in FCOM that I see anything this week. So it's very important timing wise, the content of extended version, model company and all that, and I haven't seen anything. So if some of you guys saw anything, please put in the chat the link to the session. I missed it completely, and I think if SAP didn't talk about it, it was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, very much, very much.
Hey guys, related to the Tech Ed comment and just virtual events in general, this is Maria from the Tech Ed team. So I heard, some of you guys talking about, missing the live element and the ability to interact, and referencing that Jürgen was nice on Periscope. I'm curious what you thought about the videos and the production quality of the content. Like, did it bother you that the videos were, pre-produced and there was sort of a high level of production to that? Would you have preferred to have seen the executives present live, but perhaps less polished? Or were you good with the video content the way it was produced, just you missed having that ability to also have that live back channel component?
Well, yeah, Maria, I think Michelle says she wants live, but what it would be, I think it would be great is if they were presenting and it was pre-recorded, that they do come on and interact in the chat like Jürgen did, because I think that makes it more interactive, and I think it gives people a more opportunity to ask him questions, and he's not so focused on presenting. So I thought that was a nice touch, and it'd be great if since we're going to be virtual at Tech Ed, if the executives could, if they pre-record, great, but that they're there for the, for the premiere of the session, so they can interact and answer questions. And they had us do that at SAP Online Track the other week. Like, I pre-recorded my sessions, but the team asked me to be there at the premiere in case there are questions. So I think that's always good if you can do that.
Anybody else have any other thoughts? Thanks, Tammy.
Yeah, I think a pre-recording can have its benefits too. And especially if you want to present something, when Christian was talking, there was this kind of virtual world he was put into. This was interesting. And to make it more interactive, such a thing, I agree with Leonardo, would be good to have a side chat where the audience can exchange. I mean, this has more the quality of a lecture, of a keynote. Yeah, and at the same time, you could exchange with the audience in a chat. And or you can combine both. First, you can play a recording, and then afterwards, the person who was speaking could be there and answer questions live. Yeah. So I also like the feature of being put into a breakout session with a small group to exchange things, discuss things. I think this makes it more lively. Yeah? And of course, in between, to have breaks, not to sit the whole day watching one video next to the other. This is difficult too. I mean, especially if you want to have this live touch, not something watched afterwards,
I'll add one thing on top of, I think, the fact that we're going to have some recorded content, that's fine. But when it's recorded, at least recorded more unscripted Q&As and things like that. I saw a couple of Q&As where it was so scripted that there were jokes between the two, but you could see they were reading. So if it's recorded, it's recorded, but record a real interview. I think it would bring more credibility, for example.
Yeah. I think the volume of content we're looking at doing for Tech Ed, we're just going to have to pre-record in order to, reliably deliver it. But the goal is to make sure that it's definitely augmented with that live interaction element. And I think a lot of it also will probably depend on the pandemic situation, quite frankly. Like, I think there's a lot of concern about streaming things live if folks are doing it from home and they're not confident in their infrastructure. So I think some of the external forces are going to dictate what we're able to do as well for Tech Ed.
I liked some of the pre-recorded stuff because there are, especially with some of the virtual elements where you can actually create better visualizations to expand upon a topic or explain a topic. I think some of that, you know, you can make really, really good use of that. I think if you, but yeah, I do think that there's scope for both. So.
Thank you.
And on the same note, on talking about possibility of maybe having chat rooms for dedicated subjects while the content is being played or made available, I think that's another opportunity where some of the mentors may step up and, I don't know, play the role of some moderator in their individual chat rooms. So that would, I think, help a lot guide and direct content.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, again, especially if we're going to do anything at scale, we're going to need help, particularly from, you know, guys like you who are experienced in that world.
We're always willing to help.
Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Oh, man.
Cool. Any other voices around the sessions or the setup, or how an ideal event would look like for you?
Kathy, I have one comment, and again, maybe a little controversial, but I'm just gonna.
That's great. Controversial is wonderful. Go for it.
Yeah, I recommend SAP to provide more diversity in the keynotes of people and in the boardroom. So especially with what's going on in the world, you know, it's tough topic and tough to accomplish, but I think it was front and center that there was very little diversity.
Mm.
Were you there for the executive Q&A?
No, I was not.
Okay, was that recorded? Because I thought Christian did a really good job of addressing that exact topic.
He did.
Okay. Looking forward to catching up on that.
Yeah, yeah. He both at the big. I mean, it was right at the beginning.
It was the first question, if I recall.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what did he share?
Oh, that they are committed to, yeah, employing especially African Americans and just diversity in general.
He said he was going to double the number of African Americans in 3 years. He committed to do that in 3 years.
Yep.
So.
Careful.
Yeah, so it was good. He acknowledged the issues of the day, and then also provided some action items for them that they're going to try.
Cool.
Oh, hey.
He's a first-time SAPPHIRE participant. This one has actually watched some of the SAPPHIRE videos. He actually liked Jurgen and Spider-Man, yes.
I liked the 10-year-olds explaining HANA. That was a good bit. Exactly. With the 10-year-olds.
But isn't Jurgen?
And who was the Spider-Man?
And Superhero Squad.
And Superhero Squad, yes.
Hey, but he's got Batman's shirt on. Batman's my favorite.
No, you need to go. Yes. He was watching one thing and I was watching something else. Although we did like the Porsche customization on one of the keynotes. He was enthralled by that. So it was that part of the video.
And he thinks Christian is Spider-Man? No, definitely not. That's Jurgen. Jurgen is Jurgen, of course.
Jurgen is
And Christian is Superman?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're talking about Spider-Man and Superman and not about Ant-Man or how these others are called, right? So is there anything specific that you say,
You need a hand?
thank you, I'm so glad that I didn't need to go to SAPPHIRE, because that is something that I really didn't miss, or I don't miss at SAPPHIRE or at Orlando, in terms of the event or in terms of the setup or in terms of the weather.
The weather.
Weather? Yeah, the weather.
We can live without Florida's humidity and thunderstorms and heat.
Although I
And
used to use it as an excuse to eat ice cream every day. So the Baskin Robbins, I went to the Baskin Robbins across the street every day.
Yes.
you're a smarter woman than I am, Tammy.
It's a good excuse.
I miss the exercise though. If it were
Yes.
air conditioning, you know, the exercise you'd get going from your hotel over to the convention center.
Yeah.
And
You
Jim,
got your steps in. That's
Jim's
for
Or
sure.
the walk between parties in the evenings, going from one to the next, to the next.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know
Oh,
about
no.
Well, no, you only stay in the one party. I get dragged left, right, and center. It's, you know.
I would use the
dreadful.
pedicabs.
The pedicabs.
So
I've only been in those once. Those are too dangerous. The pedicabs. Those are really. Ooh.
Oh no! What is it? The tuk-tuks in Bangalore. Now that's dangerous.
The Orlando pedicabs are fine.
Actually, the tuk-tuks in Bangalore actually take contactless. So that
I rode in a TikTok or whatever it was, or whatever they're called in New Delhi. That's an experience.
Yeah. There's there is the school of thought that says because the traffic's so bad, they're not going fast enough to do any damage if they hit anything.
Now, would you guys see value in participating in a virtual party, or are we just sort of stretching, trying to do events virtually too far by trying to, I don't know, like organize virtual happy hours or, a virtual point at the end of a virtual event for everyone to grab a drink and
I'm out. I'm not allowed to answer that because you know my answer, Maria, right?
They did actually something like that at the end of sharing geoscience union activities. And that was kind of fun. They even had a poetry slam crammed in there. And it was just a big Zoom session as well.
I mean, this is why we are here, right?
Yeah.
Because we missed the party. This is why we are all here.
Exactly. And by the way, just saying, starting at 6:30, we have an open bar for those who came later. So at 6:30, the open bar is opening for everyone who wants to stay here.
Cash bar.
Yeah, I mean, the mentors already and the champions gave also feedback about the interaction itself, the missing interaction. And so maybe you can...
And a lot of interesting conversations have happened at the Hilton bar.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just, it's a pity that the Hilton bar is always in the opposite direction to the way I need to go. So
You still go. You still go, Chris.
Cool. So what are we doing? What are we doing next week then? Watching all the replays?
Watching all the replays and catching up on the other stuff, as well as some of the work I've been that I've been dodging while watching some of the sessions.
Cool.
And I believe that there's on-demand content that's going to be added as well. So you may find additional content there as well. And then the other thing, and I'm not sure how obvious this was or how this may have evolved with some of the challenges with the platform, but there's regional content as well. So
yes, I noticed that.
I don't know if you caught that, but I think if you pick different geographies, you'll see different content from around the world as well.
I think one thing
There's also the ASUG Forward happening next week.
Yes.
Yeah, I think one thing that's missing from ASUG Forward, in my view, and this week were like the roadmap sessions. I know finance had a roadmap session, but usually at the SAPPHIRE in Orlando, you get roadmaps on just about everything. So I think, back to Leo's point, he was asking about SDK extensions. There was, Sven would do an S/4HANA roadmap. And, you get that both at TechEd and SAPPHIRE, but this year, at least the few recordings I watched, I only found that there was only the intelligent finance roadmap that I found. And then on the technical side, I didn't see any roadmaps. So it'd be good to get those. Those are always very popular.
And I have a little bit of a mixed feelings about the split of ASUG and SAPPHIRE that were in the same week and run together. They're two different events, but run together physically and now separating. I know it makes easier and makes the agendas lighter, but then it's easier to lose people in their agendas and they start getting meetings and don't follow the real events. So I have a little bit of mixed feelings. What is the best approach? Just that people get to the end of this week a bit tired because they have to catch up with work, and now there's another week coming up. Not sure.
Yeah, I think it's hard to commit 2 weeks straight. You know, I think whereas I could be out of the office a week and attend both ASUG sessions and SAPPHIRE sessions. And like I said, the roadmap sessions, I really missed this week. And I don't think they're on the agenda for next week. They're, you know, that's not because SAP gives roadmaps, not ASUG, so. Oh yeah, Maria, there's roadmaps. I mean, anything S/4HANA related is key. And you know, the key areas, the key product areas, SAP Cloud Platform. Roadmaps are changing. Yeah, Tobias is right. The roadmaps do change fast. I think that's why it's good to get face-to-face interaction on the roadmaps at the conferences. That's why we always had a ton of them at ASUG SAPPHIRE, and then you know at TechEd, there's always quite a few roadmap sessions. That the nice thing about TechEd is, Maria, is they can repeat those roadmap sessions because usually the rooms are so full. You gotta, yeah. So
well, one of the things we're trying to do, right, you know, again, with the in-person events going away for the near term and everyone pivoting to digital, you know, we're also trying to, you know, guide our colleagues in terms of the right content to be presenting. So, you know, there's certainly no reason why, you know, they couldn't spin up a series of webinars that just, you know, spend, you know, 30 minutes, you know, a day on a different roadmap. And just, you know, get that going and then make those available on demand. So
Maria, how are you thinking the hands-on session will be at TechEd, you know, since that's such a key part if it's virtual?
Yeah. We're working through that with Thomas Grassel and his team. And, you know, I think the challenge, right, you know, and I think some of you guys may have been involved. I know, you know, Craig's team has been, you know, piloting some virtual code jam sessions. And I think what the team has discovered is that they're much more labor intensive virtually than they are in person. They found that they need many more people on hand that are technical experts to be able to help troubleshoot and, you know, bring people into a Zoom room on the side to help them. And so I think that what we need to figure out is, you know, what is the right number that we could do, and like how many people could we accommodate in each session and be able to effectively deliver them.
How does SAP Education do it with their live classes?
There's a lot of aspects to that. Hi, this is Craig. So it's a combination of activities right now between Learning Hub, the developer relations group, and some other groups inside of SAP to try to figure out what is going to make the most sense in the most ways. Because when Learning Hub, for example, they do certifications, but they do them virtually. So they do have a handle on trying to do things like this, but it's also very small numbers of individuals. So when we think about it from a tech perspective, where you think about, you know, a room with a lot of people in it, all of a sudden the whole dynamic changes. And some of you on the call have been part of those tests on the virtual code jams and stuff like that we've been trying. So honestly, it's anybody's guess right now what the right way to do it is. We're working together with some of our partners. I know Holger was on the call earlier, so we've been talking to Microsoft, how they did theirs. So it's a lot of moving parts right now. So do we have a definitive answer right now? No.
We want to do it, but we also want to do it well. If we do it, we don't want to bite off more than we can chew.
That makes sense.
I think one of the most challenge is like we are at home or somewhere at work. Can we do tech at the evening, or do you recommend to take a week off all the day, or is this too exhausting? What is the best way to embed tech ed online in my day-to-day work?
Not to derail the conversation right now, but I mean, this is a SAPPHIRE wrap-up that's gone into a tech ed conversation that we don't have all the right people on the call for. And we don't want to give you half answers and pieces,
yes, of course,
and everything like that. And honestly, my drink's getting warm. I thought it was happy hour now.
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah,
Greg.
I just
So in
you
10 minutes,
you don't have to answer now, but I think this is a crucial part.
And when
get people involved to find an
and
answer.
when we have the right people together that we can do a call for tech ed, we'll do a call for tech ed.
Yeah, that's cool. Greg, this is keeping me away from the kids at the moment who desperately want to camp outside in the rain. So this is maintaining my sanity. So it is right now. Oh no, I've got a grumpy child coming back in the room.
Isn't that what the drink is for? Maintaining sanity as well. No, honestly, guys, we wanted to, we will come to you guys with tech ed. I promise you that, because we have a lot of moving parts right now, and as soon as we get it figured, we'll definitely bring it forward and start to share more details. But it's just, we don't have the details to share right now. We're all focused on SAPPHIRE.
Yeah, exactly. And that brings me now to the next point, because I would like to wrap up the serious part here. We have 8 more minutes. If you would like to share something regarding SAPPHIRE, Sue?
Oh,
Sue?
I'm sorry, this isn't regarding SAPPHIRE.
No.
But because we have people on the call here, so this is really difficult for everybody. And I just want to ask you all to keep an eye out on your friends and your family on social media. Try to be aware if you see somebody who's struggling. Recently, someone I know has posted some messages that were kind of disturbing. And I think they'll be okay, but we all have technology and we all have people that we don't want to lose to what's going on around us. So take a moment to look through somebody's feed and see if they're doing okay. So that's it. Public service announcement.
Thank you, Sue. Michelle, you wanted to say something too? No? No. Any other voices for now? Otherwise?
Yeah. No, I think we're good. I think I need to fill the glass of wine.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk a little bit longer at the bar, but if you would like to follow me to the bar,
I would.
Okay.
Definitely. I do have to say, Marina has the best seat.
Have fun in the evening. I have to leave. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
I have to leave as well.
Yeah.
You're usually my wingman, Oliver.
Sorry for today, but I fear you have some other ones here in the team.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Excellent. Right.
So,
see you in the bar.
Bye. Have a nice weekend.
So anyone else who wants to join me?
Have a great weekend, everybody.
It's only 12:30 here.
Absolutely. Okay.
This is why I have the sofa here to sit down with a drink.
In that case, thank you so much for your participation, and I think we have some good impressions on about SAPPHIRE, how it was for you. I think it's a great idea with the hallway conversations moving forward. Look out for the blog post from Sue coming up and comment this.
Yeah, you're not getting out of it.
Whoever wants to stay here for some chit chat, absolutely stay here with me. And otherwise, I wish you a wonderful, wonderful evening. And see you hopefully soon in one of our next community calls.
Have a good weekend, everybody.